And we are live here in Elwyn. All right, here we go. So, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How is everybody this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay, doing good so far. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said last week, we're going to be talking about two states, but in one class. So, who's ready for that? Yep. So, like I said last week, we're going to go to the Dakotas. By a show of hands, have any of you been to any of the Dakotas? 1, 2. I saw someone raise their hand for a second. Yeah. Okay, so 2. Have you been to the Dakotas?
Yeah.
How was that? Yeah. All right. So, like I said, we're going to include both these states into one. So let's start with North Dakota, and then we're going to give them each a turn, kind of like how we take turns going in line for anything, getting gas at the gas station. Just kidding. I'm kidding. So let's start with the North Dakota flag. So this one's a little imagery, I guess. So here we have the bald eagle. Don't ask why he's called bald. It's bold. Yeah, he's not bald, guys. Come on. So anyway, you have the American eagle carrying the American shield. That was Captain America's first shield, by the way. And you have North Dakota on the bottom. You have the stars up here. And then you have the famous phrase, E pluribus unum, which I talked about in a previous class. It's a phrase that comes from Latin, and it literally translates as, from many came one. It's in reference, obviously, to the United States being many states, but it is still one nation. And so, as you can tell, this is the same eagle you can see on your $1 bill. Not that I'm going to pull one out, because I don't have one. And so, yeah. Yeah, I barely carry change. So, you have the arrows over here, and then you have the wreaths over here. They are common symbols. And the wreaths over here, you can see these plants that on one of the talents representing peace, and this one representing vigilance on the arrows. And it's kind of hard to see, but they're supposed to be 13, obviously, in reference to the original 13 colonies. And of course, all of this on a blue field, this kind of blue being, well, a Yankee color. And I don't mean the New York Yankees. That's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. So let's move on to the next slide. Let's talk about the South Dakota flag. So South Dakota has a more simplistic, I guess you can say, type of flag. I don't know. Would you guys say this is overcomplicated?
It's a lot of stuff in there.
I mean, it's not as bright as its northern.
It's like farmland and stuff?
Yeah, it's farmland, and there's supposed to be a windmill, I think. But obviously there's a guy plowing the fields for the crops and everything, and it's on a river because the best farms are on a river. And then you have the great state of South Dakota. And obviously on the bottom here of the seal, you have the 1889 seal. That's when it became a state. And then you have this bright blue field. And I don't know if you guys can see this or if you can read upside down. The South Dakota state, the Mount Rushmore state. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So you have this lighter blue shade of field. I'm not too sure what the story is. I was not able to find anything about that. And you're going to notice a pattern that a lot of times flags have stories, but sometimes flags don't have too much of a story because they were usually done in contests. So if you ever want to design a flag, yeah, chances are your flag might be adopted by somebody. So also you can see these little rays of sun, the rays on a sun, I should say. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to be, these little spike things. So who's ready to move on to the next one? So let's talk about a little bit of some brief history and geography real quick before I get into things. The reason why I pulled this up is because, ladies and gentlemen, the Dakotas are named after the Dakota people who lived in such lands like these. The reason why I bring this up is because the Dakotas for the longest of time was, of course, inhabited by the Dakota people, and many people thought these were some of the most inhospitable places. That's why certain parts of the Dakotas are called, quote unquote, the Badlands. They're not bad because of any other reason other than the natural environment. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that in a second. So, what you're seeing here is the Dakota Badlands in South Dakota. So, the reason why, like I said, it's called the Badlands is because it's more of the environment. It could be an inhospitable place. And I quote here, and this is the words of the National Park Service: the lands actually present challenges and varies from numerous dangers such as rain making clay ground wet and sticky, jagged mountains along the plain areas, and it has varying climates. So it's really hot during the summer, and it is really cold in certain areas during winter. And yeah, these lands are so dry, there's barely anything living on these mountains. Yes, these are mountains. They're jagged, and people have died climbing these things.
So they're like even drier than like you would consider like desert area?
Practically.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they were called the Badlands. The Dakota people even had a name for it, Makosika, which literally means bad land. The land was that bad.
Wow.
So the reason why I didn't pull up a map is because this is already an idea enough as to what it looked like before the Europeans came along. So yeah, the Dakotas, obviously in the American North, but what you have to understand is that people were able to live here, but not in these areas. So yeah, and other information about it. Yeah, even the National Park Service will tell you, be careful when you go to these places. The mountains are dry. They have jagged edges, some of them sharp as knives. Yeah. Yes, Debbie?
You get hurt too?
Oh, you can get worse than hurt. Oh, pretty bad. You could wind up in the hospital.
Dry, you can't get grips and stuff out there.
Yeah. People have
Wow.
broken their ankles climbing these things. I mean, I'm not saying it's the most dangerous place on earth, but I'm just saying, naturally speaking, it is pretty harrowing to some extent. So yeah, these are the Dakota Badlands. So let's talk about what else they're known for.
Oh, that's pretty.
More Badlands. Remember when I said the edges are jagged? Take a look at this. These are jagged right here. These are just smaller formations that were formed naturally. They were formed naturally over millions of years. So yeah, be careful when you're going up here, because even though this is the most famous national park in South Dakota, it can be pretty dangerous if you're not careful.
They get a lot of tourism there?
Oh yeah, they do. They do get a lot of tourism. And one famous tourist, once upon a time, was a certain man who would later become president. His name was Theodore Roosevelt.
Nice.
He went up to the Badlands during the worst time of his life. Both his mother and his wife died literally on the same day.
Oh, man.
And so he went to the Dakota Badlands during the worst time of his life. And he came back a much different man. He became well known as the sheriff of New York, riding on a bicycle, enforcing the law. And then he would become president of the United States. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is the same Roosevelt who is related to Franklin Roosevelt. He's actually Franklin Roosevelt's great uncle. Just in case anybody's wondering. Of course, maybe not a lot of you would be. So, speaking of which, let's move on to the next slide. This is familiar. Does anybody know what this is?
Yep, I know, goddamn you.
What
Yeah.
is it?
George. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at.
Who's this in the middle? Who's this?
Hey.
Where? Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. George Washington. Who's this one?
Move chocolate.
No.
Close.
Good try.
That's Thomas Jefferson.
Jefferson, good
And
job.
right here, the dude with the mustache, that's Theodore Roosevelt.
That's cool.
Good job.
Altogether, this is Mount Rushmore,
Right.
one of the most famous landmarks in the United States of America commemorating American presidents of the past. You're probably wondering, why these presidents in particular? Well, here's the interesting part about it. Here's the story. So basically, these 4 presidents represent certain aspects of American history. The birth of the United States. Okay, pay attention. So George Washington, birth of the United States. Thomas Jefferson, the growth of the United States. Theodore Roosevelt, you have the development. And then Abraham Lincoln, the preservation of the country. That's why these 4 were picked in particular by its designer. So yeah, if you ever go to Mount Rushmore,
I did.
yeah, you'll notice how big they are. But there's a funny little story. This took quite a while, and they used a lot of dynamite to create these faces. And it's been said, if you look at the eyes, they look kind of hollow, right? It's because it is. There are actually secret passageways within Mount Rushmore.
Really?
So the eyes George Washington has, Jefferson, yeah. So those are secret passages, but only few people could ever get in. Yeah, it is quite something to see.
Man.
So let's move on to the next slide, shall we? Anyone like motorcycles?
I do. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally.
Yep.
It is one of the most popular, if not the most famous, of all motorcycle rallies in this country. This event attracts hundreds of thousands of people a year. Yeah, you heard me right. In a small city, it attracts hundreds of thousands of people. Yep, people come over here, show off their motorcycles, or at least share their appreciation and enthusiasm for motorcycles. So let me ask you this, everybody. Has anyone ridden on a motorcycle?
Nope.
You afraid to?
I did.
All right. I never ridden on a motorcycle before.
I did.
You have? How was that?
Perfect.
Was it a big motorcycle? Oh yeah, Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most popular brand, Harley Davidson. You probably find some over here. Are there? No, some of them are Yamaha. Never mind.
What? Come
They're
on,
probably in
man.
there somewhere.
It's kind of hard to see because there's so many.
No big deal.
But I see Harley Davidson brand up here.
Yeah.
But the motorcycle, yeah, I can't find it in here. Yeah. So.
I got mine there. That deal.
No, later.
Which one, Matt? I want
Which
the
one's
red
yours?
one, Matt.
I'm gonna take it for a ride.
Look. That's Jimmy.
This one?
No, over here.
Right here?
Look at me.
Yeah.
This one's mine, Matt, right here.
The red one? Oh wow.
No, the fuck is yours.
The bold colors. So don't worry, guys. If you ever see me speeding down the highway with one of these motorcycles, you'll know why.
I'm not doing it.
So yeah. Yes.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Hold on, brush out.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Yes. Yeah. They have motorcycle rallies in Florida. Probably not as big as Sturgis. Yeah.
Okay.
So who's ready to go to what North Dakota is known for? Speaking of Badlands,
Yeah.
this is Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
Yep.
So here's a fun fact for you guys. It is the only national park ever named after a president. Think to yourself, how many places are named after real people? Yeah, you barely can think of any, can you?
No.
This is the only place named after a president.
The schools.
The schools.
Well, schools. I'm talking about national parks here.
Ah,
You want to find a school along the riverbank?
okay. No. The
Yeah,
schools.
yeah,
How about here in the forest?
Yeah.
I would go to school there.
Oh, would you like to put a school on top of this mountain right here?
Yes.
That'd be cool, but
What
I'm
a
not gonna make
view.
it.
What a view.
You better not be afraid of heights.
No.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
oh, don't you that?
so, yeah, this national park is well known for its horse trails, wildlife viewing, and opportunities for backcountry hiking and camping. So, who likes camping?
I do.
Who likes hiking?
Hiking, yeah.
And like I said, it has horse trails. So, who's ever ridden a horse?
Vanessa rides horses.
Is that right?
Yeah. Katie
Okay.
rides horses.
You learn something new every day.
Your cows ride cows or horses?
Not
Tim said move.
Really? Well, you'll find buffalo, not cow. They're kind of related, sort of. They're bovines, but they're not really exactly the same species. But okay. So yeah, let's move on to the next slide. So let me introduce you to, what is this called again? The International Peace Garden.
I mean, that one.
It does look peaceful.
So North Dakota is bordering Canada. I don't know if you guys know that.
I know that.
A lot of states border Canada, but hardly any of them have what is called a peace garden. The reason why, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a silver dove, and there's a dove right here. Yeah, and from what I'm understanding, that's Canada. This is the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the line goes like right
On
here.
that middle?
Yep. See where the dove is? It goes down the middle.
Nice.
That's how I'm understanding the border is working over here.
That's
And
beautiful.
this peace garden was to establish relations between us and Canada. So,
Wow.
by a show of hands, has anyone been to Canada?
I haven't, but I would
No,
I
love.
did.
it's the only one.
I would love.
You two have been to Canada?
Yep.
All right, cool. So yeah, I've been to Canada too during winter. Oh boy, it was not a good time for me.
Not that.
It was so cold. I was freezing.
Oh,
Does it count if my daughter lived there?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? You're living there.
She lived
You're not
there.
visiting there. It's not like you're gonna go tip top. Okay, I've been there. Trying to cheat the system. Yes, Debbie.
Very cold.
Oh, it was so cold. I practically had icicles for my hair.
oh, I do.
Oh my god, it was during winter too. I might have gotten sick once or twice over there. I was like, can we go somewhere warm?
Yeah, I do.
But yeah, seriously though, this is to establish relations between our two countries. Here in the U.S., over there in Canada, we're cut from the same cloth. We used to be colonies of a much bigger civilization, and now we are independent.
Oh,
So yeah, if you ever go to the International Peace Garden,
I
be
did.
sure you find the border and try not to cross over without permission. There will be people watching you. So let's move on to the next slide, shall we? So who's into sports?
Is that hockey?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
So we're going to talk about some North Dakota first.
They have
So-
Mount Rushmore.
Yep, Rapid City Rush.
Wow.
So they're a junior ice hockey team from, guess where? Rapid City.
Yeah.
The name doesn't give it away. I don't know what will.
I love hockey.
Yeah, okay. So here's some statistics for you. They've won 2 championship games, and they have a trophy from the Ray Marion President's Cup.
Okay.
So not too bad. Not too bad. So yeah, and here are their colors: red and gold. I think this is gold.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go.
Gold-ish and black. There you go.
Carry.
So yeah. So
Bill, go.
let's go on to the next slide. So let's talk about more sports teams. Sioux Falls Skyforce. This is basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah, this is a basketball firing out. So,
That's cool.
yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a basketball team from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So they do, and they've won 3 championship games. For some statistics for you. So yeah, guess where they're from? Sioux Falls. Yeah, and as you can tell, their logo is a basketball firing at the speed of light. I don't know how it hasn't caught fire, but okay.
Almost the same colors too as the hockey team.
Yep. At that speed, I have no idea how it hasn't caught fire yet.
Hey.
Obviously, that's just logo designs. I'm just pointing that out. Let's move on to the next sports. From North Dakota,
Let us guess.
Fargo
What
Force.
sport is that, Matt?
Football.
Nope.
Football?
Baseball.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Baseball?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Softball.
No.
What kind of sport is it, Tim? Bowling?
Bowling.
Yeah.
Nope.
What do you think, Matt? Vicky?
Softball.
Softball?
Mm-mm.
Soccer.
Mm-mm.
No.
Rapid City Rush. What team was that?
Hockey?
Yep.
That's hockey too?
Yep.
They
They have a lot of hockey teams.
Yeah.
Did not say that.
So they're also a team from the Dakotas. They come from specifically the city of Fargo. So I was not able to find any statistics on them because as of right now, there are no divisions. There are no championships so far. So best of luck next time.
Yeah. Wow.
So let's move on to the next one.
Baseball.
More baseball. This is the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks.
Angry Bird.
Practically an angry bird. Put him on a slingshot. Yeah, it'll be an angrier bird. Hey, what are you putting me on a slingshot for? I'll put you on a slingshot. Eat your heart out, Angry Birds. You got another one right here.
Yes.
And he broke a baseball bat with his beak,
Yes.
which begs the question, why do you have teeth? Birds don't have teeth.
You guys are a hot mess.
I'm no biologist here, but I'm pretty sure birds don't have teeth.
Theirs does. That's how he broke the bat.
So? Okay, anyway. So, all right, we're just going to move on.
Don't do it.
So, they're a baseball. Who's hungry?
There's a bird.
That's not chicken, that's fish.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so in case you're wondering, this is walleye.
What's that?
Yep, this is walleye. This is the state fish,
Oh, man.
and this is usually cooked in a Cajun style.
Yeah.
It is usually cooked with butter, herbs, lemon, pepper, and it's sometimes beer battered.
Is that tartar sauce on the side?
Oh yeah, that's tartar sauce. And here's some baked vegetables over here with peppers on it.
Yum.
Yep. And the beer batter one, it seems to be the more popular one because it's usually the catch of the day.
Okay. So it's fresh.
Usually, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah,
Hey, Katie.
yes. You like walleye?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Listen,
I have a horse.
Mm-hmm. Hold your horses for that. So yeah, it is.
Horses, exactly.
It's the most requested.
Hold your horses.
Yep.
That's beautiful, Katie.
So let's move on to the next one. Who's ready for more?
Jeremy, you really like making us sound.
What was my rule again? What was my rule again, ladies and gentlemen?
Jeremy likes to make us hungry.
When you're traveling to other places, you gotta look at the foods too.
Yeah, probably if I do you.
We're gonna go get some.
Yeah, right now.
We'll be back next
If you know what this is.
Danishes.
No, they're not.
They're not?
They're kolaches.
Say it again.
Kolaches.
Kolaches.
Yeah, they got me.
Can you guys say that?
Yeah,
Kolaches?
Close enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, kolaches, they were introduced by Central Europeans from the Czech Republic. They're a pastry that holds a portion of fruit surrounded by a puffy dough. Yep, they usually have dairy spread, fruit jam, and poppy seeds. So right here, those with poppy seeds. Over here, this is peach. I mean, this is peach. I forgot what this is.
Let's see, maybe raspberry, peach, cream cheese. That looks like apple.
Yeah, apple right there.
Apple,
And those are poppy seeds.
Poppy seeds, okay. That looks good.
Yeah. And here's a funny thing about these things. They are almost always served at weddings.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is it like a,
going to.
is it like
Okay, give you here
a
right now.
dessert for breakfast or evening?
For
or
a special occasion.
special occasions?
Yep.
Nice.
No, I want to get over there and get it.
Yep. So let's talk about what North Dakota food is known for.
Yeah.
Legs barbecue.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. This is very, very important. They don't cook their stuff on any sort of utensils. They use pitchforks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who needs a tongue or a spatula when you got pitchforks? These are my kind of people.
There you go.
That's real cooking.
Yup. Because you could do one at a time. No, let's do it all at once.
There you go.
Yep. So this is why it's called pitchfork steak. Yep. So if you guys want some steak, well, you better line up for those pitchfork steaks.
Yep.
And you can cook sausages here too. And chicken. I mean, why not? So let's move on to more food. Who's ready for this? Who likes kuchen?
I do.
Yep. And by the way, people, that's not cake.
No.
That's not cake. Ladies and gentlemen. Close enough. The German word for it means cake, but it's not really a cake.
That's more.
But it's rather a custard dessert.
Oh, man, yeah.
This one was introduced by the Germans. And usually the fillings, you're going to love this if you listen up. The fillings usually include cottage cheese. They usually have other sweet varieties like peaches and cheese, tangy strawberry, apricot, blueberries, and these are found in both Dakotas.
More cottage.
Yep.
Say, what is that called?
Nope.
No. Say it one more time.
Kuchen.
Kuchen.
Yeah.
Kuchen. Very good.
Yep. So that's what they're known for.
And it's not a pie. Did you hear him? It's a type of cake.
Right.
It looks like a pie, but it's a type of cake. Am I right?
Yep.
Am I saying it right?
Wait a minute.
So let's talk about some famous people, shall we?
Right.
Do you guys know who this is? Her name is Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Oh, wow. Little House on the Prairie.
That's what I was going to talk about next.
Yes.
She was
Nice.
she lived in DeSmet for a while.
You did.
So let's talk about what she was known for. So she wrote a little book called Little House on the Prairie, which became a little show. You want to see it? Right over here.
There it is.
That's you.
And she played her, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty successful. Have any of you seen this?
Anybody seen that show?
I did not.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Still on too common.
Funny
Yeah,
thing-
they do have
He's
it.
gone
They
now.
have it on like Me TV and stuff.
Yeah.
I can hear it still.
I got cable road. I got cable road. I got cable.
Yep. Okay. So funny enough, I've never seen Little House on the Prairie.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I've been told stories about this, and I've been told that this supposedly is about 80 to 90% faithful to the book.
Wow.
Supposedly.
Cool.
But
It was a good series.
yeah, I have yet to watch one episode. I've only been aware of its existence.
They had books. They had.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next slide. Let's talk about more famous people. Recognize this guy,
Hey, Bob Barker.
Bob Barker.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Price is right.
So now, just to be clear, he's not necessarily from South Dakota. He was actually born in Chicago,
Right.
but he actually lived on an Indian reservation for most of his youth. I believe it was called Rosebud. Rosebud Indian Reservation. That's where he spent a lot of his youth in.
Very animal.
Yep.
No, me.
Yep. So Mr. Bob Barker, he was on the show for over 30 years. You guys ever watch Price is Right?
I did.
Did you think he was a great host?
Yes.
Yep. I liked him too.
I mean, kid, y'all.
Yep. We all watched it. Was the price always right? How many times have you guessed a price on a product? And how many times were you right? Now that is a question for the day. Try to guess the price of this new car. I'm going to guess $1.
Yeah.
If you could buy a car for $1, that'd be pretty amazing.
Oh, God, don't worry.
Yeah, no. Never going to happen. One can dream, though. One can dream.
Yes, indeed.
So let's talk about people from North Dakota. So anyone familiar with Peggy Lee?
I
Heard
did.
of it.
Sorry, Angie Dickinson. So have you ever seen the show Policewoman?
I
Here
did.
we go. Uh-oh.
No? Okay.
I did.
So she's originally from Culm, North Dakota.
Okay.
And she had played this same role for practically the entire show. So yeah, if anyone's very familiar with Angie Dickinson, you'll know that she was one of the pioneering, I guess you could say, female actresses for lead roles in a TV show. So I haven't seen this show, but maybe I'll take a look at it. Just like Little House on the Prairie, right?
Yep.
So I was just told about this just yesterday too. So I have no idea about anything about this show other than it was one of the earlier police dramas, or what are called procedural police dramas.
Right.
To those of you who don't know, procedural just basically means here are the steps for a police investigation. So the crime is committed, a crime scene investigation is open, and people are looking into suspects, and whoever's caught, then they get taken to court, and then you get the idea. The whole criminal justice system. All of that is portrayed in usually these shows. CSI, Law and Order, you name it. So yeah, let's talk about the next person. Anyone familiar with Peggy Lee?
I do.
Yeah, so I had no idea who she was for a long time.
I did.
So yeah, she was a singer, she was a songwriter, she was a composer, I guess you can say. So yeah. So what I didn't know was that she was also one of the songwriters for a certain movie I grew up with as a little kid. Let's move on to the next one. Familiar with this?
Lady and the Tramp.
Yep.
Yep, Lady and the Tramp. I didn't know she wrote the music for this.
I did.
You did?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
A music enthusiast over here.
I did.
You knew about Peggy Lee singing the songs in Lady and the Tramp? Yeah? Cool. So let's move on to the next slide, shall we?
Nothing new.
So let's talk about the people of the Dakotas real quick. So put together, the Dakotas may be two states, but as one state, as of 2020, there are over 1 million people living here, both in the north and the south. And that's just put all together. So the most common ancestries are German, Norwegian, Swedish, Russian, French, and Irish. Shout out to Laura. Yeah, that's going to be a thing. So as you can tell, there are sort of differences between these two. So South Dakota's capital is Pierre, but most people live either in Rapid City or Sioux Falls. Right over here in North Dakota, the capital is Bismarck, but most people live in Fargo and Grand Forks. And don't ask me about Devil's Lake. I don't know why they call it that. So yeah, altogether they are descendants of European immigrants, mostly from the central areas as well as the west. So that's why you'll notice a lot of the names, especially the French names like Sioux Falls, that's a French name, not an original name. Pierre, that kind of gives it away as to the origins. Bismarck comes from Central European, and so on and so forth. You got different kinds of people there. So let's conclude today's class, shall we? So here's the North Dakota license plate. Yeah, you got your little buffalo right here. If Carmen were here, yeah, I know the expiration date is up here. Yeah, I know the license plate's expired. And right here, the Peace Garden State, because like we talked about earlier, the International Peace Garden that they established on the Canadian border. So that's license plate number 1. Let's talk about license plate number 2. Mount Rushmore right over here. Great faces, great places. That's how they promote themselves. And you can see the Mount Rushmore faces over here. Once again, license plate is expired. Sorry that I have to point that out. Once it's pointed out, I cannot unsee that. So here's what President Theodore Roosevelt once said about North Dakota. And he said, and I quote, "I would not have been president if it had not been for my experiences in North Dakota." Yeah. So yeah, the man who would become president would not be president if it weren't for his experiences in the Dakotas, especially within the Badlands, at the lowest time of his life. So it kind of says a lot when you say something about a place like this. So anyone who's interested in going to any of the Dakotas, they're basically twins with differing identities, fraternal twins, if you would. They're not identical, but they're still twins. And whether you go to the Dakota Badlands in the south, or you go to Mount Rushmore, whether you go to anywhere, whether it's the Theodore Roosevelt National Park, visit the places, try their foods, be tolerant of their sports teams. I'm looking at anyone who's a sports fan in here. Visit all the interesting places, meet the people, experience the culture. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the road.
Thank you.
Oh, and before I forget, especially everyone watching at home, a sneak preview. Next week, we're going to go to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All righty.
Oh, good night. Oh, I know it.
Right down here.
Okay.
Alrighty, you guys. So now we have.
Hi, you guys. I'm Allie. Hope you guys remember me. And this time we're going to participate. This is Roxana. She's a new client. She does not speak any English. However, she's very funny and cute. And you guys remember Scott Gonzalez? So today we're going to do the food pyramid. And they will help me guessing what fruit it is. Scott is going to do it in English, and then Roxana is going to do it in Spanish, and then they're going to be very helpful to place them in the food pyramid. So let's see how they do, okay? Say hi, you guys. Hi. So what is this? Roxana, ¿qué es esto? Pasta. It's a pasta. ¿Y dónde crees que va? No, esta va a ir en grains. Va a ir aquí. Sí, ponlo ahí. Gracias. Okay. El second one, it's going to be, I believe this is to be a mushroom. Yeah. Scott, where do you think it goes? Vegetables.
Vegetables are the
Green
ones.
ones. There you go. Then we're going to do the next one, which is, what is this? ¿Qué es esto, Roxana? She said it's a watermelon. ¿Dónde crees que va? Yes, it goes in fruits. And then let's do this one. Scott, what do you think this is? Egg. Yes, go ahead. Where do you think it goes? What kind of product do you think it is?
Is it like a meat and beans, which is like a protein? Is it an oil? So purple is the wheat and beans, which is protein.
Yes.
Oil is yellow.
Milk, it's blue. Where do you think it goes? Let's help them out a little bit. What do you guys think it is?
Where the eggs go?
Where will the eggs go?
It's in the blue section.
Yes,
Dairy.
milk, dairy. Eggs are considered dairy. Okay, we're gonna do the next one. Let's choose. ¿Qué es este, Roxana?
Uva.
Yes, dijo que es una uva. Okay, it's a grapes. Where do the grapes go? ¿Dónde crees que van las uvas? ¿En qué categoría va? No, no va en el morado. Es fruta. Es considerado una fruta. ¿Y qué color viene siendo la fruta? Good. The next one we're gonna do. What is this, Scott? Cereal. Cereal. And where does it go? Grains. Good job. What is this? ¿Qué es esto, Roxana? ¿Qué piensas que es este? Parece un arbolito, una verdura.
¿Será una fruta?
No, una verdura.
¿Verdura?
Ajá. ¿Y qué clase, y dónde crees, o cómo crees que se llama?
Es una verdura.
Sí.
Brócoli.
Sí, brócoli. So, las verduras. Ajá. ¿Y qué color es este, Roxana?
Verde.
Sí. ¿Y dónde lo vas a poner?
El verde.
Correcto. What is this, Scott?
Strawberry.
Okay, and where do you think the strawberry goes? Good. Fruits, vegetables, grains. Where do you think it goes? Good job. Roxana, ¿qué es esto? Esto poquito para acá. Esto para acá, más. Porque te puedes mirar. ¿Qué es esto? Es algo que te comes, se cocina. No.
Carne.
Es carne, bistec. ¿Y dónde crees que va? Ah, a ver. En la carne hay frijoles, aceite, el producto de aceite, leche, productos de leche. ¿Dónde crees que va? Sí, correcto. Next one, Scott. This is what is this?
Cooking oil.
Cooking oil. Aceite, ¿dónde va? Is it? Yes, put in the good one. Good. Let's make it a little bit harder for Roxana. Hay que hacérselo más difícil a Roxana. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué parece? ¿Es algo que le pones a tus panqueques? Se usa para hacer pastel.
Mantequilla.
Sí,
Ah.
mantequilla. ¿Y en qué producto crees que vas? ¿En el de leche? ¿Cómo? ¿En el de aceites, carne y frijol? Yes. Good. What is this, Scott? What is this, you guys? What does it look like?
Pineapple.
Pineapple.
Yes, it's a pineapple. Where does it go? Vegetables, fruits, grains. I think it goes in the fruit. There you go. Entonces, hay que hacérselo más difícil a Roxana. ¿Qué es esto? What is this, you guys? ¿Qué parece? What do you guys think this is? Kind of difficult, huh?
What is it? It looks like it has chopsticks.
Yeah, she did it right. She said rice. Good job. Arroz.
Yes.
¿Y dónde crees que esto va a ir? En el producto de carnes y frijol, aceite, leche, harina, productos de harina. Va a ir en el de harina, en lo que es, porque es grains. Viene siendo tipo de harina. Okay, Scott, what are these? This is very easy.
Banana.
Where does it go? Fruit, vegetables. Good job. Easy one. ¿Qué es esto? Come to the floor. ¿Qué es esto? What is this? Es crema de cacahuate, peanut butter. ¿Dónde va?
Crema de cacahuate.
Aceites, frutas y verduras, harinas, carne y frijol. ¿Dónde va?
Protein.
Es proteína. Va donde es aceites, right? Oil.
Yes.
Ahí va. Okay, let's do the next one. This is a very difficult one. It's going to be for Scott. What does it look like? ¿Qué es?
Oh, I eat it.
Okay.
fish?
No.
What is it, you guys?
You put it on your sandwiches.
Are you? Most of the salads have it.
Cabbage. Or
Yay.
cabbage or.
Yes. Thank you. Where does it go?
I'm gonna sit here. I cannot see.
Vegetables or your fruits?
Help him out, you guys. What is it? It's the
You got it, you guys. You're
Good
supposed to help them out.
Yeah, participate.
What are these? ¿Qué son estos? Hay que ayudarle a Roxana. Roxana, ¿qué es esto? ¿Cómo se llaman? Son chícharos. Yes, that's what they're called in Spanish. Chícharos. Can you guys repeat that word with me in Spanish?
Chicharros.
It's chícharos, not chicharrones. What is it? Repeat it with me. Chicharros. Where does it go? ¿Dónde va Roxana? ¿Dónde crees que va? Verduras, vegetales, harinas. Good job. She knows where it goes. This is a very easy one. What is this? Scott?
Oh, sick.
What is it, you guys? Help Scott.
What is that?
Oh.
It comes, no. What is it? It's a white meat. Very common. Roxana, ¿tú sabes qué es esto? Yeah, she got it. It's chicken, you guys. Come on. Where does chicken go? Meats and beans or oils. Good job.
What's in the purple?
Yeah, but
Okay.
this we learning in school. Yeah.
What is this? Ayúdenle a Roxana. ¿Qué es esto? Tomate. Yes. Where do you guys think it goes?
I got almost.
¿Dónde va el tomate?
I got too much in your home. Wait a minute.
Right here.
I got it in my home. I was gonna keep for you tomorrow.
Okay, let's do an easy one now. Scott, ¿qué viene siendo esto? What is it?
Ice cream.
Who doesn't like ice cream? Everyone does.
What is it?
A todos les gusta la nieve.
Yes. Okay. What is this? Roxana, ¿qué es esto?
No.
Ajá. Es leche.
Leche.
¿Y en qué y cómo se puede, cómo te tomas la leche? ¿Cómo, en qué la puedes cocinar?
Con un calentón.
¿Con qué?
Un calentón.
Ajá, se calienta, pero ¿en qué se puede hacer la leche también? ¿En qué lo
Con
puedes
cereal.
preparar? Cereal. Good. ¿Dónde va?
¿Me pongo brinques?
Sí sabe. Okay, what is this? ¿Qué es this? Help Scott. Ayúdenme a Scott.
What is that, you guys? I don't know what that is.
You guys have it every single day for lunch.
Oh, Thomas.
It's bread.
Ah.
Where does it go? Where does it go? Good job, you guys.
Oh,
Hey, let's do this one. What does it look like?
Yogurt.
It's yogurt. And how do you guys eat yogurt? Es yogur. ¿Y dónde va Roxana? ¿Dónde crees que vas? No. Sí, es producto de la leche.
Oh, dairy.
What is this?
What is that, you guys? Some of you guys have it for lunch or for snack. You can make juice out of it.
Yes, and salad. Yes, it's orange. And where does it go?
Come on, okay.
Fruits. Yeah, fruit. Oh, it's not a cream. This up, Scott. What is it?
Your peach.
There
Yes,
you go.
fruta.
Your peach.
Okay, what is this? Ayúdame, Roxana, ¿qué es? ¿Qué es, Roxana? Ajá, ¿y dónde la categoría va? ¿Es verduras o vegetales, harinas? Yes, she got it. Good job.
Allie, carrots good for your eyes.
Sí, ¿para qué sirven las zanahorias?
Oh, yeah.
Ajá, she said it's like for soups. Yes, you can add carrots to soup.
To feed your buddies.
Yes.
Para darles de comer a tus conejos.
Sí, ¿verdad, Roxana? Sí. What is this?
There, I can't see. Oh,
Yep.
flour?
Ayúdale en Scott. Help Scott.
What is that, you guys?
Okay. Cottage cheese.
Oh, cottage.
How do you guys eat cottage cheese?
On your bread, on
Bagel?
How do you eat cottage cheese, Scott?
Yeah, with you.
What do you think? How do you eat it?
like with fruit,
Fruit,
salad.
with salads, with pasta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, at least I use cottage cheese in my pasta. Hey, where do you think it goes?
Yeah,
What kind of part it belongs to? Your milk, your oil, your meat. What do you think cottage cheese contains? Good job! You got it! What is this? Hay que ayudarle a Roxana. What is this? She said it's, ¿qué es, Roxana? Okay, it is a sausage.
Chicha, which is sausages.
Protein. ¿Dónde pertenece?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Good. Very smart. And we have the last one, the stinkiest one ever. What is this? Help Scott. How do you guys like fish?
I'm not a fish person.
Okay.
You fry it. You
Cook it.
The fillet of fish from McDonald's, right?
oh yeah, those filet fishes.
Yeah. So where do you think it goes, Scott? Is it the meat and beans product, the oil, the milk? There you go. He got it. Okay, so I'm gonna ask Roxana a question. I'm gonna ask her what does she like out of all this that we did. What does she like the most of it? Roxana, de todo esto que hicimos aquí, ¿qué es lo que más te gusta comer de aquí? De todo. Oh, she said she likes everything. She's
So
not
she's
picky
not
then.
picky.
She ain't picky. That's good. She likes everything. What about you, Scott? What do you like from all this? What do you like to eat from here?
I like to eat the sausage.
Sausage. How do you like to eat your sausages and what?
And I like pieces of bread and toast sandwich.
Oh, awesome. That's good.
Now, Roxana, te voy a preguntar cómo se puede comer. A ver, vamos a ver. El pescado. Ok, ¿y cómo te gusta comer el pescado?
Dorado.
Dorado, okay. Okay, good. Well, thank you guys for participating. Gracias por participar. Bye, adiós. See you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you, Roxana.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, people.
Yes. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for joining us. But before we go, we have a few people that were born on this special day. March, what? What's today? March
Wonderful.
24. On a lucky day when we're doing live stream. Tegan, which she will be coming, and Matthew Matthias were born on a special day on March 24th.
Birthday 171.
100 years old? What?
No, 171.
Oh my gosh.
I don't do it.
You were so little, I know. A long time ago. Well, we just want to wish you, Matthias and Tegan, which she's in the other room, a happy birthday.
Thank you.
I hope you have a fabulous day today. And so, do you all want to sing happy birthday to Matthew?
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Happy birthday, dear Matthew. Happy birthday to you. All right, you guys. All right, well, thank you for joining us, you guys, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Happy birthday, man.